why don't we move to technical careers? You're a mentor. So this is amazing. I mean, to me, you're a young person who achieved a lot already. And this is fantastic that you're reaching out and helping others. So can you tell us a little bit about that work?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that, and I think you would agree as well, is that when we work in technology, or I think anything in the world, but especially technology, is something that's changing every single day. The more you talk to people about it, or like the more you interact, collaborate, the more you learn. And I think it's the same thing about mentorship as well. I think a mentor-mentee relationship is something that both party benefit from the most. Like I have been working with some really amazing people as my mentees, and I think I learned equally from them as I have as they would have probably from me. um, and this could help them in a lot of ways, because I have some experience in maybe like like getting a job in the field, or some experience working on a particular project for 2 years. And I can share that, and definitely failed a lot of times, which makes really good examples and lessons to share with people. I got an opportunity to mentor with the Google Women Developer Academy in Europe this year. And that was, to actually help them train more on career transition within technology. Like maybe if someone's in a software engineering field, that they want to go to data science, data engineering, or more hardcore like research AI positions. So with that, and also with public speaking, because I think you probably know the problem too. Like most of the people speaking are not female. So if you look like maybe a panel, it's usually I think it's I read the stats somewhere, and maybe like there's only 25%, which is like an all female panel, or even less. About 60% of the panels out there don't even have a female representation out there. So it's also to assist or actually help females to understand that it's okay. Like everyone makes mistakes, and it's okay. Just step out and speak up. And yeah, so a couple of those things. And I also got to work with some startups, like some pre-incubation startups, working within the space of artificial intelligence, where we discussed if they have a team maybe of software engineers, how they can efficiently work with like cloud environments, or how they can delegate tasks based on who's good at what, who's good at what task, and how they can like get more of artificial intelligence expertise, like even like maybe working with freelancers within the field, like help them reach out to some freelancers, or even the use of no code low code tools out there. So different things which have been pretty interesting.
You are a researcher, you're a practitioner, but at the same time, it's so important and crucial even to see that linkages to people who are in the industry. And you're absolutely right. Many experts, before they really become the public speaking authorities, right? Many experts are so proud of what they do day to day, and it's so hard to make them speak. And yes, there are bloggers out there, but still not enough. And that's what we're trying to do here at SaugaTalks, to open up that ivory tower a little bit. So many of experts are very generous with their time, like yourself. So I will encourage everyone, if you're interested in technology, if you are inspired by Smriti's work, reach out to me, reach out to Smriti. I will put the links in, because of course all these horizontal communications and networking ever more important. So thank you for all the work. Yeah, all the work you're doing there. What about some, I don't know, anecdotal lesson learned, all right, in terms of a mentorship? Okay. What are the questions mentee are mostly interested in? Mhm.
I think a couple of questions that I've heard a lot is that like the common question that if they need to know everything, like, if you Google how, like skills needed to be a data scientist, you get a list of probably like 150 different things. So a question that, if they need to know everything before getting into a job. And I think it's important that everyone knows or understands that, like you can't know everything. And I think that even if someone has been working for, 20, 30 years, it's highly unlikely that even they know everything. So that's completely okay. Everyone's here to learn. And especially if it's maybe like an entry level job, I think if you have an understanding of the basic concepts, that's enough. Like if you can maybe put them in place and um, like understand how things work, I think that's enough, because you learn a lot on the job. And that's important to know. A lot of people don't apply to jobs because they think that they don't
Mhm.
know everything that's required.
Not good enough. Not good enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, and I totally can relate to what you're saying, because I do help people who reach out to me, and of course, I'm trying to share and again make the best of what I know. Absolutely important, and I say to people, you know what? No one is a perfect candidate. Okay, if you look at the job opening, and of course, company wants to list everything in there because they look good by doing so, right? That we only take capable, very qualified candidates. At the same time, of course, you have to know what you're really, really good at. Okay, you cannot be evenly balanced everywhere. We are not robots yet. Okay, so in the sense, just think hard. I mean, this is to our audience, of course, not to you, Smriti. Think hard what's the best of your abilities and where you want this conversation to go. Because I think smart leader, smart manager on the other side, they will see that, hey, I can use this person because this person is so good at this. And if it's not the right job, then don't try to get into this because you're not going to be happy. Again, another thing, when you get a rejection, good, move on. Don't you find this relatable?
Getting rejected to a job is definitely okay. I think everyone's had a lot of rejections. I know I have. So, so that's completely okay. And right now, we have been seeing so many layoffs on LinkedIn. So basically, it's not the end of the world. I think, like how you are as a person and how much you're willing to learn. That's the end of the day, the most important thing, in my opinion. And the other thing that I also hear a lot is, especially like mostly coming from women actually who I've worked with, is um, that people outside the field, or people who haven't worked in artificial intelligence, data science, um, they often or sometimes think that artificial intelligence is like a more individualistic field, like you have to do everything by yourself. And when you know how it works, it's basically a village working to make a project happen. So yeah, so that's probably another thing that's
That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. And again, if there are some naive candidates that do think that they're going to become divas of the business, you're really qualified candidate, you may have your master's, you may have your PhD, but you cannot do anything alone, anything. All right. You will still be surrounded by tons of engineers, by tons of business users, by tons of testers. No matter what you know, all right, people is not gonna work with you if you are not, I don't like the word team player, but unfortunately this is like best describing it. And you don't have to be team player all the time. You can hold your own, of course, knowledge, your own areas of expertise for sure, but you have to be aware what others are doing. No one is an island. How about that? Yep, yep. And people see if you're not cooperating, if you are holding knowledge to yourself, if for whatever reason, right, you think you're better than others, you're not gonna stay long. Doesn't matter how knowledgeable you are.
exactly. I think the end of the day, everyone wants to be around someone who, like makes them feel better or good. Like no one wants to be, I don't know, like looked down, or yeah, the end of the day, everyone's good at something. And I think it's important to accept like someone might not be good at coding, but they might be good at something that, like I have no clue about. So everyone has their thing, and it's important we work together, especially right now when everything's changing and the world is extremely collaborative at this point. Like, um, I have a friend who works very closely with like testing machines, like green batteries, and they are working very closely with programming and data scientists. So the data scientists who work there also need them to understand more about the batteries or the machines. So it's extremely collaborative, like different fields they work together, and it's crucial based on the challenges that we have and the problems we're trying to solve. So it's important to, not look anyone down based on whatever they know right
Absolutely,
now.
because everyone hears these anecdotes about these super qualified, overqualified stars that no one wants to hire or no one wants to continue working with. So let's warn those who really, really capable, but hopefully with their level of intelligence, they already know that, hey, human intelligence and emotional intelligence even more important sometimes than, yeah, what we know, don't you think?
Exactly. I mean, I have been watching a lot of Shark Tank recently. So I came across like a YouTube video where I think some video which Mark Cuban was explaining like who would, he hire. And he said he would hire someone who's good at what they do, who know what they're working on. But if it comes to laying off people, he would like if he has to choose between people to work with and they have to lay someone off, it would eventually come to how easy they are to work with. So I think that's an important lesson out there.
And again, we don't need to give up who we are. We don't need to be people pleasing all the time. This is
Yeah.
not what we're talking about at all. Really, be proud of who you are. I mean, absolutely. But we have to be aware, self awareness, and we have to be aware of people around us. And with that, wow, we're unstoppable.